Alright, so this is Beth and I's review of the 4xe hybrid electric plug-in hybrid Wrangler. We've had it for a week. We rented it, we're on the Big Island in Hawaii, and we've been cruising around. We probably put, I think I have a trip meter set, but we probably put 400 miles on it. Drove all around the island. We did not have plug-in available. But they're between the three modes, we were able to kind of play around with the electric. When we got it, it had almost a full charge. So over on the far side where you can't really see, I don't want to like interfere with her driving too much, but there's three buttons. There's hybrid, e-save, which is like electric save, and then electric. If you run it in hybrid, it'll burn through electric when it wants. If you put it in e-save, it'll try to save your electricity, and so on. It's been pretty great. I think we just tried to go up a lot of elevation, so our MPG has changed quite a bit, but prior to doing all that, we were getting 23.5 miles per gallon, and that's with never plugging it in. We obviously used the electric power and stuff, but that's just without plugging it in, which is pretty good because we have a Gladiator at home and it probably gets, I don't know, 16 in the city and 22 on the freeway, so even this is a little bit more than that. The power is pretty substantially different. I mean, it's quite a bit more power. A little bit delayed when you slam on the gas unless the engine's already running. We didn't play with the transfer case too much, but you have a couple different modes there. We did put it in 4 high. Some things I didn't know about this prior when I was just looking at it is the climate controls. If you go to apps here and you go to hybrid electric, it'll give you a little rundown of what's going on. Right now we are running totally off electric. The RPM gauge over there is at 0, 61 miles an hour, and you can see our little, just gonna turn a little bit here, how much power we're putting out. We're actually, if you look at this menu, it'll tell you, so we're putting 16 kilowatts from the battery right now. And it shows you coming out of the battery, into the transmission, out through the wheels. This is kind of a cool menu, and there's other things in here like driving history, charging schedule, but it shows you kind of what's like now as we coast and stuff, it'll go negative. Something I really like about this so far is it has this little regen button down here, which is pretty common with electric vehicles, but anytime you're in electric mode or even gas, if you let off the gas and you're coasting, it'll give you charge back. Obviously that's where we're getting our charge from because we don't have plug-in, so when we were driving on the freeway, we'd put it in e-save and then we put regen on, and anytime you let off the gas or you come to a stoplight, it'll charge up the battery. And it works pretty good, but it drives pretty similar to our other Jeep. I think I would love to have it at home. I think we would use the 30-mile range or whatever it gives you pretty often and probably rarely have to get gas. I don't think, even in all electric with the engine off, I don't think it drives. I mean, she's cruising at 65 right now. No problems, just cruising along. I don't think if somebody didn't know, they probably wouldn't even know it's electric, except for it's got a lot of power. But anything you want to add? Anything you like about it?
I really like it. It obviously has more options than our Jeep truck, and I think that they have to come with more options, right? Isn't that right?
Yeah.
The trim packages are higher.
The 4xe only comes in a Sahara, Rubicon, and I think like an Overland or something, which baseline have more options.
So I like the leather seats. That's really my favorite. The sound system, the Alpine system, I really love. The bigger screen is cool. So I like that. I love, personally, on hybrid and electric cars, when you let off the gas, that it brakes basically itself.
Yeah, Beth drives around like it's a high score of how much regen you can get.
Yeah, I think it's fun.
So it's kind of fun. It is kind of fun. You put it in well, any of the modes really, and when you let off the gas, you can watch your percentage go up. It's a rather small battery, so even just coming up to a stoplight from 60, you might gain 1% or 2.
So I think it's really cool. I would totally buy one. I wouldn't replace my truck with it. It would be like another Jeep.
Yeah, a big issue for us is there is no Gladiator.
If they had an electric or a hybrid Gladiator, we'd be all over it, I feel.
Yeah, I think, and I haven't looked for the towing capacity of this one. I don't know if it's affected because it's electric or not, but it's been pretty good. We rented this from Big Island Cheap Rentals, and they've been pretty good. We did blow a tire on it. I don't know how, just the stock tire.
Just for being too cool.
You got a nail in it or something, and they came out and changed it for us, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, they were awesome. If we come back, or when we come back, I would definitely use them again.
The guy who, well, I think he was either the owner or whatever, was like, yeah, take me a little while to get down there, and he showed up in 20 minutes. I thought that was hilarious. But
yeah, it was very quick.
Yeah, it's been a good car. Like I said, about 23 miles per gallon. We were putting it in all electric mode, like when we're driving through the little town and stuff, because that's obviously where you're going to burn a lot of gas. And then whenever we get on a freeway or something, we put the gas engine on. So, I mean, we were just putting in hybrid and just driving. I mean, but we were not plugging it in. So that's pretty good, because I've seen some reviews online of these saying they get worse gas mileage than the Wrangler. Obviously, we're comparing it to a Gladiator, and then also we have the V6, and this has the hybrid electric system, and then it has the 4-cylinder 2.0 turbo. But
yeah, it's quick. It's very fast.
It's very fast. It runs really good. It's very fun to drive around. Like it's not silent, but in all electric, it's relatively quiet. All of the climate control stuff functions off the electric motor, so you don't have to turn on the gas motor to get air. Your air conditioning's nice. And honestly, in my opinion, one of the big things about it that I like is our Jeep has start-stop technology or whatever. So when we pull up to a stoplight, the engine shuts off. It's kind of a pain because your air conditioning turns off. Your compressor turns off, and then also coolant stops going to the heater core. So you lose your climate control. And that's not really a big deal for a couple seconds. Sometimes you're at a light for like 30 seconds or a minute in the winter or the hot summer, and I mean, it's noticeable. In this car, obviously, it always has climate. It literally, to do the air conditioning, it takes power from the engine and then runs the electric motor to run the compressor. So it always has air. And then also when you're doing your, I want to call it electric start, or when you're doing your key fob to start it, right there, it just uses the electric power, gets your climate all good. So that part's really a big difference between our Jeep. I actually love the electric more. I think it's a way better system. This technically doesn't really have start-stop. I mean, it does and it doesn't. The engine's not running right now, and when it feels like it needs power, it'll turn back on. But it's interesting too, because it has a engine, like a little electric engine on the belt that starts it that way, so you do not feel it kick on. You don't feel the gas engine on this kick on. You have to look at the RPM gauge really to know. But other than that, just a regular Jeep. I think if you didn't tell somebody, they may not even know it was electric, except for they'd be maybe confused by what the extra gauge is. But it's been pretty great, and I definitely would be interested. I would say if you're interested in one, go test drive one, and really look at your commute. You know, I have to look, it's like 26 to 31 miles of electric, all electric. And when you're driving an all electric, you don't feel like you're missing half an engine or anything. I mean, it's got plenty of power. Open. Did you have to push a button to open
You just push it.
Okay, so we open that.
It's just like a gas cap.
$0 for 2 hours still. Okay. Plug it in. Start charge. Start. Let's see. Contacting charger. Just flashing green here. It's already charging on the thing up there. Alright.
Yep. The dash shows it charging.
Lock it.
Cool.
Okay.
I need to get my phone.